Good morning, beautiful people. Thank you for joining us on an early Monday morning to talk about policy and research. I have an exciting morning for you. It is truly an honor for me to welcome you to the Economic Progress Institute's 13th Annual Policy and Budget Conference. I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Silver Moon, my ELI sister. Thank you for leading us in today's land acknowledgement. We honor the rich history and traditions of the indigenous people on whose ancestors' land, in whose home we gather. With deep gratitude for you, Silver Moon. The theme of this year's conference, Hold the Line for Equity and Justice, is not just a slogan. It is the sound of an alarm. It is a call to action. While we prepare to get you a little riled up this morning, we also plan to celebrate a milestone. The Economic Progress Institute 25 years of progress. Woo. This is to remind us that progress has been made. And even more progress towards a true liberation and justice for all of us is still possible. When I think of these 25 years of progress, I'm reminded of my own journey. 25 years ago, I became a full-time student at Rhode Island College. The year prior, in 1998, I was a part-time student, taking classes on Saturday mornings while serving as a senior corps member with City Year Rhode Island. So September 1999 was going to be special because it was the beginning of the implementation of my 18-year-old well-crafted plan to take 5 classes per semester, summer classes, because I was determined to make the best use of my AmeriCorps Education Award, and I wanted to be able to graduate in 4 years. That determination paid off. I graduated in 4 years in 2002. My path to Rhode Island in 1996, and then on to Rhode Island College, began with a difficult decision made by my father. In the midst of Liberia's civil war, he chose to send his 16-year-old Putu, the nickname he called me, away to safety, even though I begged him to stay. So there I was, in 1999, finally finding my way in a strange land and excited to become a full-time college student. And then on September 10th, 1999, my father passed away back in Liberia. We had a very deep bond, and his death nearly broke me. I was still on temporary protective status as an immigrant, and I was willing to quit school, to risk it all to go back to Liberia to bury my papa. I didn't get to go back and bury my papa. I stayed, remembering why he sent me. I held on, I pushed through, determined to make him proud and still true to who I told him I would always be when he sent me away at 16 years old, a fighter for justice. In memory of my father and in honor of the decision that set me on this path, I must hold the line. While all of this was happening with me in 1999, just across Rick campus from where I spent most of my days taking classes and working at Adams Library, the Rick people know, 2 powerhouses, Linda Katz and the late Nancy Goritz, were implementing a well-crafted plan of their own. setting the groundwork for what will become the Poverty Institute and then the Economic Progress Institute. They held the line for Rhode Island's children, working families, seniors, immigrants, and historically disinvested communities to ensure that their needs and issues were priorities for policymakers. For the vision, passion, and legacy of Linda and Nancy, and those that chose to serve, we all must hold the line. In 25 years, progress has been made. As you can see from our timeline, we work really hard for and things you will hear today. And the fact that this room looks and feels the way it does tells me that progress has been made. We also know that progress has not been made for all. Disparities remain, and many communities have been left behind along the way. People still cannot afford to provide for themselves and their families. They cannot afford to buy a home or even rent an apartment, to start and maintain a business, or think of creating generational wealth. For them too, we must hold the line. As we celebrate and remind ourselves of what has been possible, it is important that we also sound the alarm. Civil rights, equity, and justice are under attack. If we do not stand firm, we risk losing not just 25 years, but a century or more of progress. If we do not stand firm and understand that this is not the time to give up, this is not the time to neglect the commitments we've made when equity, DEI, affirmative action, gender equality, and Black Lives Matter were trending, we stand to risk it all. This is the time to stand firm and hold the line against the pressures that wants us to do a backwards cha-cha slide. One hop back this time, 5 hops back next time. It's the time to stand together and say 10 hops forward always. We must hold the line for the next generation, for racial and gender equity, for our rights to be seen and valued no matter who we are. And so, when you are called upon today and in the days ahead, I hope your answer will not be one of fear and despair or discouragement. I hope it will be a resounding, let's do this. Let's do this together. Let's hold the line for equity and justice. Welcome to our conference.